Hey, so does anyone here remember Flash math videos? What? You don't remember watching weird Flash videos about math concepts? Well, I do, and oh boy, they got weird. Back in the day, around say 2014 to 2019, I used to play a ton of Flash games from the site called Hooda Math. Hooda Math was one of those typical Flash game sites that hosted tons of Flash games, albeit more math-oriented compared to other sites like Newgrounds or Cool Math. The site, while not being as popular as Cool Math or Newgrounds, was still a pretty well-made site. However, I'm not here to talk about the website. No, I want to look down past the games to a very weird subsection of the site. If you scroll down on the homepage, you'll come across a page called Math Movies. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, what's so special about some random math movies? Oh boy, you are in for a ride. These are not just any math videos, but some of the weirdest, strangest, funniest, and catchiest math videos I have ever seen. And considering how long I've been on the website, I've rewatched them way too many times for my own good. But what are these math videos on exactly? Or do they actually teach you math subjects? Well, join me as I explore these ancient math videos and see how weird and wacky they can get. Starting off this list is Alpine Algebra. Now, judging by the name, you'd assume that this is about algebra in the Alpines. Well, you're half correct, but we'll get into that. The video starts out by introducing us to Yeti. Yeti likes to ski, although he doesn't realize it at first. Yeti also lives on a very big mountain with lots of slopes. While skiing down these slopes, Yeti crosses his skis and crashes onto the bottom of a tree where he loses the ability to feel his legs. The paramedics are on their way, forget he exists and run him over, breaking every bone in his body. In the next section, Discount Grover appears and asks the audience if they know the slope-intercept form. He then proceeds to explain how it works and what each letter of the slope-intercept form does and how altering the values changes the equation. Now, from that description, you're probably wondering how that's even supposed to teach algebra. Well, if you were paying attention to the first part of the video, you'd realize that each scenario brought up actually correlates with the slope-intercept formula. Yeti equals y, the skis equal, well, the equal sign, mountains equals m, crossing the skis equals x, the ambulance is the plus, and Yeti getting run over equals b because all his bones broke. And if you put all that together, you get y equals mx plus b, or the slope-intercept form. The video, despite how weird and somewhat stupid it is, actually does a really good job explaining how the slope-intercept form works, and in a manner which sticks to you. I know, because I still remember how to do it. Definitely one of my favorite algebra education videos, up there with stuff like x finds out his value. Coming up next is not really a math video per se, but more of the theme song for the Hooda Math website. This very early 2000s looking CGI video basically sings about why you should use Hooda Math in the classroom or at home, talking about how you can learn economics, long division, hand-eye coordination, etc., all wrapped in a very catchy song, which weirdly pairs well with the early CGI look. The video was made using the software Extra Normal, a 3D animation software used for explaining stuff with pre-made characters, voices, and scenes. I actually found an old copy of the last version and decided to give it a go. So here's what I made.
Hey you, where is my sandwich? I was eating it.
Ou sandwich bru, y avait un apostrophe T à thème, no sandwich aldeman.
Well, that went as well as expected.
Yeah, but I still want my sandwich. I paid $5 for it.
The Hooda Math theme song is one of those videos where you have an idea of what it is, but the visuals are so jarring that you need to take a second to think about it. Next up is a calculator commercial from the 1970s. The commercial is about the Sharp EL-8, one of the earliest handheld calculators in the world, being released in 1971 for $345. I have no idea why Hooda Math has a random 1970 calculator commercial in its lineup of math videos, but sure, why not? And now we're getting into the weirder videos on Hooda Math, starting with quadratic formula equals fun. The video begins with a shot of Earth from space, slowly zooming in to reveal a man's eye in the middle of a storm. Right after this weird elf looking guy comes out and starts singing the most incoherent song I've ever heard in my life. But apparently it makes a sad man happy and so proceeds to dance, along with random PNGs of a person, smiley face, the quadratic formula, and more fly and spin across the screen. The video ends with the elf man screaming, then everything explodes in the darkness, only leaving the dancing man at the end showing quadratic formula equals fun. I have no idea what this video is even supposed to be about or how it explains the quadratic formula is fun. It's just a wildly weird flash video that makes no sense even if you know the context, and this will not be the last of it, I can assure you of that. Okay, after that wild quadratic video, we go to a relatively calmer video about finding the imaginary unit I, which is a square root of -1. The video starts off with an Australian explorer in the woods on the hunt for the imaginary number I. The video is kind of a mix between an educational video and an advertisement for Hooda Math, explaining both what the imaginary number I is and where you can learn more about it, and actually does a pretty good job at both. And now for my favorite video on the site. Unit circle trigonometry is a whole video explaining, well, unit circle trigonometry. The video goes over the different radiuses of a circle, how pi equals the circumference of a circle, all wrapped up in a parody of... I actually don't know. It's actually insanely catchy and does a really good job explaining unit circle trigonometry with some funny overworked mathematician lines thrown in there for that extra entertainment. The video really gives me early 2010s/early 2000s vibes with how it's animated, song, and overall just the vibe. Definitely one of my favorite math videos in Hooda Math. It's short, but gets the point across very well. Oh boy. So for some reason, Hooda Math thought it would be a great idea if their math videos were also rap songs. I have no idea why they did this, and frankly, I wish they hadn't. The first one on the list of mildly annoying and tiring rap songs on math is Multiples of 7. The video is, as the name suggests, a video all about the multiples of 7, but all wrapped up in a pretty mib rap video. Honestly, I don't have much to say on this, it's just white boy rap. Moving on. And now for a more enjoyable video. Math Whiz is a song all about, well, a math whiz. Pretty much a run-of-the-mill math nerd who has way too much interest in the subject of math, and yet somehow isn't being constantly bullied and is instead regarded as a world-famous individual, with people being shamed that they don't know who he is. The song is pretty funny as it just shows off this redhead math nerd destroying everyone with his brilliance, somehow beating out the likes of Einstein and Galileo, and for some reason he's always up for the test, although we have no idea what this test even is about. The music video just goes over how brilliant he is at math, showing him knowing so many different concepts, all wrapped up in a very compressed sound rock with a slightly unbearable low quality singer. This song screams, "I'm from the 2000s and I'm proud about it." It's not the worst song, and frankly is much more bearable than the rap videos, but I don't really see how it helps teach math besides showing off different trigonometry problems he solves. Professor Puppet Area and Perimeter is a video by Professor Puppet, a rod puppet similar to the Muppets. Professor Puppet in his video talks about area and perimeter, talking about the area of a rectangle, the area of a triangle, and the area of a circle, and how to solve for them. He also discusses the perimeter for the shapes as well, which actually all are pretty useful concepts and are taught in a way which you can easily learn from. All wrapped up in a puppet who could very well fit on the set of the Muppet Show. Professor Puppet's area and perimeter video is one of the few actual math-oriented videos on the site that teaches you the concept in a fun and engaging way that isn't cringy rapping or weird flash videos. Base times height may be one of the strangest, yet wholesome videos so far. The video revolves around a person doing geometry homework, however having no idea how to do it or where to start, being pretty depressed about the whole situation, drawing a smiley face to make them feel better. They look out the window and really want to go outside, eventually decide to leave the work for later. They go outside and slowly realize everything around them is geometry, realizing and learning all the concepts, eventually gaining the courage to go back and finish the homework properly. Satisfied, they leave the house and go off into nature. This video, despite its odd art style, is really wholesome to me. As someone who struggled a lot with math homework, I can totally understand the person in the video, and the fact they figured out the concepts outside and go back to fix it really makes this a nice video about gaining new perspectives and realizing math is all around you. One of my favorite videos, and much better than all the rapping nonsense we're about to go into. Time for the onslaught of rapping themed videos. There are too many of them, why? The video, as the name suggests, goes over the multiples of 8, rapping about each number 8 can be multiplied with. It's not the worst video and actually does explain the concept pretty well. I'm just really tired of this cringy rapping. Sure, it brings the point across, but I'm sorry, I can't take anything seriously with the white boy looking rapper. I'm moving on, I have nothing else to say. This may be the weirdest video on Hooda Math I've ever seen. The search is a very weird flash video revolving around a detective trying to catch Pi as it runs from them over various random and often weird images. The video goes on like this for a bit until while chasing Pi down a long corridor with flying numbers, Pi gets hit and knocked out, allowing the detective to look closer at Pi to reveal Pi's value. Yeah, this video made no sense whatsoever and was frankly more unnerving than anything. Definitely one of the weirdest flash videos I've seen, and like some of the images are so weird. I feel like they'd be in Trader Joe's. If you've ever been to Trader Joe's and seen like the really weird human animal arts, I don't know, that's just a thought I had. Add Up to 10 is probably the worst rap video on Hooda Math. This video, as the name implies, shows all the ways you can add up to 10. Starting off, there's a huge error in the lyrics, with the singer saying 1 plus 8 equals 10, 2 plus 8 equals 10, when it should be 1 plus 9 equals 10.
Listen, 1 plus 8 equals 10, 2 plus 8 equals 10.
I suspect they did it to rhyme better, but like, that's not how math works, bro. You're supposed to be a rapper teaching kids how to add up to 10, and you throw this error in? Anyway, the rest of the song is fine, all the equations do add up to 10, but like, I can't take any more of these bad rapping videos, it's so cringy and annoying. Pan the Fractions is yet another rap video, although thankfully there's no mathematical errors this time. The video is about a guy in a panic costume rapping about fractions. Besides being yet another cringy, tiring, and annoying rap song, it at least does teach fractions somewhat. I don't know, I really don't learn much from it, and I don't have much to say about this video. We're moving on.
The order of operations is easy with a
The final video on Hooda Math is PEMDAS. PEMDAS is, as the title implies, the well-known order of operations acronym for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. The song has a person dancing in a hot dog suit to a very 2000s rock song that I can only describe as High School Musical type music, or this would fit very well on mid-2000s Disney Channel. Honestly, I don't mind this as much as the other live-action music videos, and it actually is kind of catchy. The concepts are also sound and teach you the order of operations, so it at least does its job. Overall, this final video was much better than any previous rap style songs, and I listened to this 5 out of 5 over the white boy rap any day. A bonus video that's not on Hooda Math's website, but on their YouTube channel. I Hate Calculators is basically about some guy ranting about how much he hates calculators, how they're arrogant about everything, and the only joy he's gotten out of it is spelling boob. The video is pretty much an old school rage bait video, troll content, or just some person who really hates convenience. I don't know, this video just really reminds me of a tamer version of cringe-inducing gamer YouTubers who make intentionally rage baiting content. It's really not important and has no reason to be in this video, I just wanted to include it because I found it somewhat funny. Well, that's all the math movies on Hooda Math. Thank you all so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this very different video from my other topics. If you guys want to watch these for yourself, I've linked the Hooda Math video page and the playlist some of these math videos are on in the link in the description. Unfortunately, a lot of these Flash videos, original uploads, are lost media as I cannot find any information on their whereabouts or what even happened to their creators. Some of them do have creators linked, but most of these are dead channels. I did try to contact one of them, but have yet to get the response, and I do want to stress that this video isn't made to be taken seriously. I just wanted to show off some of these videos that are very nostalgic to me and shed some light on this rather obscure corner of the internet. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching and have a great day. I'll see you all later.